see.
Yeah, we should be live.
Yes, I think I see that. I can hear myself, which is always unfortunate, but it is what it
Bad
is.
start of the day.
Yeah. Uh, I've did Twitter like remove the? No, it's here. I'm just blind. Okay. So live with runner. Talking about. Okay, did you send me
No, one
the
second. I'm on it.
send me on the Telegram? Okay, this is the Telegram.
It should be this,
Okay,
I think.
yes, or maybe not. Who knows?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, let me just try to find the YouTube link so I can see the comments, which I often miss. And we're gonna go into things. So hello, let me know if you can hear us. I think you should be able to hear us. If you're not, it's your fault, not mine. Okay, yeah, okay, so I see YouTube, I see Twitter. Let me just split these two things into different screens so I can see both chats, and then we can begin. So hi everyone, welcome welcome to next stream, the almost weekly. It's not always, but we are doing our best anyway. I hope everyone is doing fine in this exciting cycle. And before we jump into things, the the streams are sponsored by BonkBot, so thank you so much, BonkBot, for sponsoring the stuff. If you like us, or at least if you like me, you might not like Runner. That's very understandable. But if you like me, make sure to use the
Holy shit, man.
link which I posted in the both chats. So there's that. Anyway, let's get into things.
How we feeling, Adam, about the markets, huh?
Yeah, it's not fun. We had, so obviously everything is kind of not great. The fact that the ETH was once again outperforming for like 2 days was the signal of everything being so over. But basically, I think everyone is kind of caught up with what has been happening for the last 2 weeks and the US presidency scam going on. But yeah, so we had this kind of rogue tweet the Sunday before. Was it a week ago? It was a week
Yeah.
ago, right? Yeah, the week ago. We rallied there. We kind of basically immediately retraced that move, for which, for me personally, and like I like to, when I actually trade, I usually like post these things or like talk about these things, but I wasn't long into the tweet. I didn't short the tweet because I thought, when we had that kind of push that previous Sunday, I was thinking that we might actually squeeze at least a little higher, because it was basically this kind of like a most perfect range low SR flip type of situation. These often kind of overshoot a little bit, so I wasn't shorting this immediately. And then when we went down, I also kind of didn't buy or do anything, because I felt like at that point it's kind of messed up. And yeah, we did mostly nothing for the rest of the week. On Friday we had the conference. Were you watching that actually?
Yeah, one second, just somebody's shilling some forex shit in the chat. I'm
Yeah,
banning them. What the fuck? Like, it's down bad when there's a bot shilling forex, not crypto. I will grow your account. How
Yeah,
about
that's
you?
great.
God
Yeah,
damn it,
you
how
can
do I?
keep that. Like,
Ah, whatever.
if
Yeah.
people want forex services, I think this is definitely a legit account, and you should contact them. But
It's the same
yeah,
people who think a Kanye West coin is gonna do well.
it's yeah. Like, were you watching the thing?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I kind of gave up
This
on the
I know
yeah.
you. This is where we often like disagree, but because I basically only trade these narratives really and headlines lately, and you kind of, have more pragmatic look, if you will. But yes, I was watching, and as you said, the last week has been incredible. To me, like a bit of eye-opening insight on presidential cabinet, and not to make this political, but we don't live in U.S. and we don't like. I never really paid that much attention to Trump, but the last week has been an interesting grift central. Like if we thought like the whole meme coin stuff is bad, just a month ago, this is like next level bad. With I don't even know where to start to expressing my disappointment in what if everything that has transcribed in last 7 days. Yes, I was
Yeah,
watching it, and it was there's a lot of good trades there. Regardless, yes, mostly shorts, but well, people can still do that, right? Uh, but it was very easy sell the news. I think it was
yeah,
obviously in
yeah.
hindsight, but people basically I've seen a lot of people expect them to announce multiple things. That is one of them being 0% tax on like crypto holdings, which is just why would they? It's it's just like the expectations as per usual were
Yeah.
completely, in my opinion, stupid, and we are trading as such. But the last Sunday post on Truth Social on Sunday, out of all illiquid days to do that, that they're gonna make Solana, Cardano, and XRP strategic reserve. It was just straight crime, bro. Like it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Eric Trump is like tweeting, like quote tweeting a day later, and like, did you listen to my advice, Anon? Basically, like, let me find it. I'll put it on. It's like I'm watching this
Yeah,
like holy shit, man. This is just bad.
no, it's definitely crazy.
You're
Like
welcome, my
Trump,
friend. Hopefully,
obviously.
I made someone's life just a little bit better. Now, my advice: hold.
Yeah, I think I
That
saw
like,
that. Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy because like obviously it's like Trump and everyone around him. They are like very market heavy. Like very kind of positioned in the market. So this is funny to watch, and obviously the crypto is kind of being the perfect grift
yeah,
for it, which obviously is from like a people that actually care about the longevity of the industry, which like
we do.
um, yeah, like I would not want this to die completely, definitely. But yeah, it's just kind of disappointing to see, which it's kind of a grand finale of the whole kind of on-chain liquidity extraction, which we had with all the influencers and the kind of ultimate boss or ultimate KOL being basically Donald Trump is just like so funny to me. And I saw some people, like the people that are like BTC, more on this kind of BTC Maxi side, also being kind of like uh I wouldn't say pissed, but also like just being against the whole thing of just like government, I don't know. It's probably not the place for me to talk because I don't definitely care that much about all the things. Like I'm like my goal is to kind of make money trading, and I trade both sides, so I don't really care that much. But yeah, it's just insane, to be fair, and especially when I feel like at the same time with all this happening, you have this like a TradFi side, which is like completely mess. Like obviously the S&P sold off a lot. The stocks are also selling off, which is obviously caused by all of these tariff talks, um, as well at the same time. So which is a little bit, like unusual because or I think there is this like a thing where uh, people like same as in crypto, where there is this kind of a disappointment of the narrative from people who were like when Trump won, basically a lot of people had this kind of in mind that this is going to be this golden, bull market, kind of a peak best time to be in crypto. BTC going to 200K and so on and so forth. Like, uh, and a lot of people had, I think, this same expectations with stocks because Trump has been quite a like I said, they are very kind of market heavy. So Trump, in his previous presidency, especially, I don't know if you were kind of around, if you were following, I don't know if you were trading, but what the year is that? This is like before COVID, right? So like 2016, from 2016, I think. He was a president back then, and like it was like peak entertainment. I remember, he was basically like news squawk, just tweeting every price change of S&P and Dow. It was like so funny back then, and like it really felt like the biggest thing he ever cared about is the stock market and price going up. So I think there is this kind of a loss of narrative in TradFi as well for a lot of people, where basically they were expecting kind of the same thing, and Trump just took the office and it's like big fuck off to the market, because obviously he goes with all of these tariffs, which at the end of the day, like no matter how you are going to look at it, they are just not thing which is bullish, because they cause inflation, but most importantly they are just bringing this kind of uncertain environment. So yeah, stocks has been kind of like everything is basically just dying down, and bonds rallying, and we had this rallying gold, and this is like very typical kind of a risk of sentiment across the board, which obviously is not really great for BTC as well.
And it's like it's not that it's gonna change with one headline, right? These things, not that we're gonna be
Yeah,
macro larping here predicting, but like this shit, they've said what they want to do. They said they're doing it. So I guess in some regard we can say give them kudos. But like people holding altcoins minus 70% thinking this is gonna resolve next week, I think is a bit of stretch.
yeah,
And market is trading as such. It's just like kind of, I would call it market is sobering up, and I think the Trump trade is simply unwinding, and you know it played out. I think nobody can complain. Bitcoin went from 66 to 110 in like two
yeah,
months. It's fucking insane trade in 77
yeah.
days.
It's just one of those things, and we spoke about it many times, and I think this is very kind of a stuff with BTC. Is just like you have like if you look at price action basically from like ever since FTX happened, or like when we made the bottom in 2022, this thing just like BTC is trading sideways like most of the time, and then it rallies for like a week or like 2 weeks, and then just go sideways again, and then just rallies again for like couple days, couple weeks, and go sideways again. And we had this, the range last year, was from March until the November, and then we had another range basically from November, until like what you can say basically end of February. Now we are kind of breaking down, and I think like obviously I know that you trade a lot like intraday. I definitely, although I'm holding trades for a little bit, I definitely don't hold trades for months. But I know a lot of people do, kind of stop trading and believe in something, and
Oh, how is Buddha doing? Let's check in so Discord.
like,
Holy
like a lot
shit.
of people, yeah, like a lot of
It's
people
probably a bottom
in
though.
crypto, yeah, a lot of people in crypto just like have this like a bigger, like everyone wants to catch the big move and big trade and everything, right? So I think this is where the most people kind of get fucked on this idea, because obviously like if you were positioned into Trump winning, then uh it was a great trade, because like you get into 60s 70s, even like if you chased a little bit. But I saw just so many people after that, and this is like I basically, and we spoke about this before the stream, I had the kind of a bigger positions that I had. I closed around 100K back in December. I missed that kind of last like at 110, which is it is what it is. A lot of people in this kind of range just position to this move to the 200K, right? On market which was up from 16 in like a 2 years basically. So which is like 500%, like insane. And even the move from the Trump winning to the highs was like 50% move. So like people just kind of over exceed the expectations, and I think like BTC, like the targets of 150K, 200K, like I don't think this is like impossible to think about. I think like even right now, obviously, if you zoom out enough, like I think we are in like in still uptrend. Like if you look at like a monthly time frame, this is like completely still kind of structurally strong, and like we are. I'm not sure about that, but if you're gonna go into the 60s, 70s, basically back into the range, we are going to be testing this previous all-time high from 2021. Like I'm pretty sure the sentiment is going to be basically the most bearish you have seen in a long time. Yet, uh, it's going to. It's I think it's a very strong level for like a higher time frame trend continuation on monthly and stuff. But the issue is that most people just get liquidated in before,
Yeah.
because like most people get too excited and start to chase things. And I think like for example, like I think I took some of like leverage longs in between, but like you need to have this like very clear kind of realization when stuff is just like not working out, and you cannot be like stubborn and stupid and basically be like I'm going to just chase this forever. Instead, you just take a step back, if you get into short, because like for example, I did not really shorted this. My my last great short was in ETH, which I also closed a little bit too early. But I'm not. I wasn't really. I didn't make that much money on shorts. Funnily enough, I was able to catch some longs on the way down, which actually were profitable. Once again, it's like lower time frame, a little bit, but yeah, it's a complex thing where I think just people just get too impatient a lot of times, and just keep kind of buying and then puke at the bottom usually, and then this is why when market kind of tends to reverse the most.
I mean, we also had a lot of very good narratives. I feel like, especially for, I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin only as a fellow Bitcoin maxi last year. We had it's actually insane how much positive press we got when you think about it. So we got ETFs, which are the most successful ETF ever. IBIT, if I'm not mistaken, like ever in all of ETF existence.
Yeah, yeah.
Insane
It did
inflows.
more volume than gold, I think. Pretty,
It's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
massive
very.
banger, right? Success. So institutional interest is there. We're like Bitcoin is respected and taken seriously now. You have Trump at a Bitcoin Nashville last summer talking. That was a nice sell the news as always as well. He won the election. Market rallies. We got ETF buying billions and billions. Sailor aping fucking full stack longing. Uh, as well, we have talk of Bitcoin strategic reserve. We have think about it like a fucking sitting U.S. president on interviews saying Bitcoin is great. That was like the ultimate. I wasn't around, but I know a lot of OGs from decade plus ago. Like that was the final boss of Bitcoin, basically. When you're gonna dump on U.S. Like the nations buying Bitcoin. Now they're we. I find it extremely like people cannot. How do you explain the fact that Bitcoin is dumping while Trump and the entire cabinet is basically shilling Bitcoin and crypto, and we still keep dumping? It's just like we had all the good potentials to give you like, hey, this is like sign of weakness. Inauguration was the top, which is not surprising at all. It's basically, to keep it simple, just everything has been a sell the news for Bitcoin as of late, and we need a new narrative, and I'm really struggling to find a good one. Which doesn't mean it's forever over, but right in the short term, what is the next catalyst? Truly, find me a good. And I'm sorry, Czech Republic considering using. Have you heard that news? Something with Czech
Yeah,
nation.
yeah, I
It's
think,
like nobody
yeah, yeah.
cares. There is not a bigger buyer. There is not a bigger brand than U.S. and Trump. Like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah. No,
next?
I think it's definitely going to be a little bit tricky now, because obviously like US probably is not going to shift their kind of position to the whole stockpile thing. but yeah, usually when price is not going up anymore, like usually you get, instead of getting like a new narrative, you just get some, like a black swan-ish or like a large liquidation event. uh I don't know, the only thing that I can think of personally is just like Sailor getting into like a huge trouble, but I, to be fair, have like no idea how his whole Ponzi scheme with,
No, no, no. I just
issuing.
want to make sure
Yeah,
so we don't like so that like listeners don't think we're fudding. There's almost impossible to liquidate him. It's like at
yeah,
like 20, 30k BTC, he's in trouble. So just
yeah.
no way.
So yeah, that's very unlikely thing to happen. And yeah, I to be fair, I cannot think of anything else right now. But yeah, usually, like, we had this in the past. Once again, I think, like Bitcoin overall is just like very young market, from like a, and especially, like a, I think the rally in basically like the 2021, the final, like the first move to the 60K was like the first real, like real in terms of like participants, real situations when you had this kind of institutional interest. And like the move in 2017, this was like very like a just people buying, and this kind of dying down. But the kind of COVID and the the QE, the printing money, and everything was like this was like the first kind of a macro influenced event, let's say. And this, so like I said, it's a very young market. And but then we made the bottom on the FTX. The prior bottom was we made in COVID. So like the two major bottoms in the last 5 years were made on uh, very the black swan-ish traumatizing events. So usually it's kind of when things go down, it's when like everyone just agrees it's so over, and something really bad happens when we usually find the buyers there. But yeah, like I said, like I do personally feel like, if you look at like weekly or monthly time frames, that like the test of the previous all-time highs in this, like we built, we spent from March to from March to November, which is like 7 months, 8 months range. Like I think this is a very good high time frame level, uh, worth giving a shot on the long side before it's truly so over. So
But what
yeah.
would you long? Would it be BTC or equivalent of something else? I mean, if Bitcoin goes to that level, are you looking to long more like BTC or and
I
if
think
VC bags?
I think and we we spoke about that a lot in the past as well. I still kind of stand on this, like this whole move and this whole market. Besides maybe Solana, which had its own narrative, was like a BTC narrative, right? Like there is obviously there are some altcoins, like some of the stuff, like I think Ripple, going from 50 cents to like basically new all-time highs, was a little bit crazy. But overall, I think the whole kind of a strength, and we can probably see this on a lot of alt BTC charts, was the BTC driven. So like every time I'm looking at the long side, I do prefer to look for Bitcoin, same as looking at ETH for shorts. But no, I think definitely I still, and I like to be quite honest, like, and I know that you kind of are the same, but I mostly trade Bitcoin and ETH and Sol and like the large caps overall. So yeah, I'm probably not going to do something crazy. I think a lot of like the VC bags and like the kind of these medium caps. I think that's a little bit like a like you are doing yourself a disservice if you try to trade them. Uh, but then like there is this. I think like for me, you in my opinion at least, like you should either trade like the biggest caps, like a BTC or ETH and Solana if you like. Uh, and then these like complete shitters when the time is right for them,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which I don't think it's now. I haven't opened Dex Screener or any other thing in quite a while. I think there is a little bit of a depression. Obviously, I think when it comes to the on-chain stuff, it was like so like besides the whole kind of a crime thing and a lot of insider stuff and things going on. I think the attention span was very like current TikTok short videos situation where like these coins were basically going through full cycles in like half a day. Um, Therefore, I think lot of these stuff, and I haven't looked much to be fair, but like a lot of this stuff is just dying because there's like no support. It just went up so fast that it's like people just there's like no levels, no nothing basically to buy.
Jesus
And I
fuck.
think even if we look at these like the biggest ones, like I think the AI coins are still like the kind of a biggest narrative which came from on chain. Yeah, like if you look at Fartcoin, if you look at the
How
AI
dare you?
16Z, which I think is, yeah, all these are just like down so bad. There are volatile, so like you can trade them once again, like intraday, if you want to catch a little bit of the beta. You can short them, which I think
Mm.
was probably something that should have been done a little earlier than now,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is what it is. But yeah, like a lot of these kind of things are just like down so bad, and I think the reason for it is mostly due to the fact like how short-lived these were overall.
But
You
also
know,
this, I have a good article here. I
and the
mean, it.
people and the fact that sorry, just like yeah,
Yeah.
like how short-lived everything was and how people were like jumping the narratives. Like the things that were popular basically 1 week were like completely irrelevant because something new came and there was like so many coins overall. So
Yeah, just it's simply tipped over, right? Like when you have a bucket of water and it's half empty, you can fill it, fill it, but eventually the water will like spill over. And what happens if you add more water? It just keeps spilling over, like no shit, Sherlock. Like nice stream, 6,000 people watching to us explain basic physics. But when you look at the traditional like take on alt season or like the capital rotation, remember that I know for a fact when I was getting into crypto, you would have like the pyramid of like how capital rotates within
yeah,
crypto. So you have
flows
Bitcoin,
from
ETH, big
yeah.
caps, small caps, and at the bottom like NFTs when they were still cool. And we went straight to meme coins and just the infrastructure made it so easy for like you and I could launch a coin, which we will never do because we're not that down bad yet. Knock on wood. But like there somebody did analysis on pump.fund that there was a guy who deploys like 150 coins a day. So it's
Yeah,
like
he was making like good money though.
yeah, yeah. So he was like insta dumping, and it's like, okay. So on each of these, somebody lost money, and it's like, no shit, we are in this shithole. It's so logical to
Yeah,
me, and I
I th-
truly
yeah,
never see an alt season like ever again, like on a
I think
structure. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think that like there was like a big shift with the fact that you mentioned that the ETFs were so popular. So like it was like the whole cycle was just Bitcoin strength, Bitcoin ETFs. Then the Trump everything. ETFs were getting insane inflows, the whole kind of a volume and everything. But like these people that buy Bitcoin ETFs, they are not going to buy Fartcoin from, like they are not going to rotate from IBIT ETF to you know Popcat or something, right? So like that's kind of breaks this pyramid first of all, uh, and then I think the old season itself was like uh, yeah, just huge kind of dilution, launching meme coins. Everything was like short lived. Like I remember at least like everything went to shit as well in 2021. But like at least there were like some kind of narratives, although they were stupid. Like you had a DeFi season, you had
GameFi.
a gaming, which is like this like still people kind of try to lean on that. Yeah, but like at least these things had like some sort of like a premise of delivering something maybe like
Yo, this is the worst
the game.
chart I've ever seen. YGG, the gaming coin.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
but like you could like there was at least like something, right? Like yeah, this is this is looking
This is
equal as
insane,
bad.
bro. this is this is worse than ETH
No,
BTC.
but yeah, but with meme coins, there's truly just like speculation. So yeah, like, and I think even that like like I think every altcoin is like it's like everything is just speculation. They are like insanely overvalued. At some point, you had all these unlocks, you have everything. So it's all kind of like speculation. Like the best narrative is price going up, and it always be like no one cares what the thing does anyway. But at least with these things that like yeah like altcoins in general, and I think Bitcoin in general, and like every fucking market at the end of the day is like 100% speculation, but at least like some of these coins have this like 10% narrative, so it's only 90% speculation and 10% narrative basically. So uh yeah, so at least there was some sort of like a quote unquote longevity in the previous cycles, or people were like thinking something might happen. Although I remember like the in 2017, you had these ICOs, which was basically like equal scam as meme coins, just little more sophisticated than launching it on pump fund. But yeah, it was very very like short attention span, a lot of insider trading. Yeah, I don't think, once again, and I think
It's
this is
almost as if
probably.
everybody used crypto just for insider trading. Makes you think.
Yeah, and I think if there is going to be alt season, or if there's going to be like uh, any kind of like a relief rally or like a bottom, like if like let's say that if BTC is going to bottom, I think the best performing altcoins are usually, or like usually the best performing stuff is like the new stuff and the stuff that is currently popular. Although we had a little bit of a kind of break in that. If you look at like stuff like Cardano and Ripple, which did actually well for whatever reason, or Litecoin as well, which I think should be all that. But
It's
it's
pretty
not.
easy explanation, I think, though. It's a ETF coming up.
Yeah, yeah, the ETF stuff for these, but like what's the like, you can then ask like what's the point of Litecoin ETF in the first place? But um yeah, I want Fartcoin ETF. So yeah, it's tough. But I think obviously if you are not trying to turn one soul to $50 million and actually like want to like think about risk and like I think the BTC is still going to be probably the best bet on the long side. You can size into it more and stuff around that.
Yeah, same.
Uh, so yeah, someone mentioned all the new launches as well in the chat. I have no idea how they look, but like yeah,
One did well, Story Protocol, IP.
yeah. The Kaito also did kind of well, considering that
Yeah.
people just stopped caring after the launch. It had this, I think, probably everyone was just selling it, so it squeezed a little bit. Although we are basically back, but it's not that. So that's a big plus for altcoin. Other things, I don't know. Yeah, even
Yeah,
the yeah, like even
Beta Chain,
Bera,
Kaito. Yeah.
it's also doing. Yeah, it's not doing that bad, all things considered. So um but do you think we go to new highs this year, man? Like, how am I supposed to know that? I don't know what I will be doing next week. How am I supposed to know if Bitcoin is going to go to new highs? Like, that's like, very impossible, almost impossible thing to kind of say. And also, it's like a least relevant thing to know. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I
Well, I think
honestly have no idea.
what could do well in the coming weeks is I even have the macro LARP calendar. We have CPI this coming week, which will 100% be super volatile day. I cannot tell you up. People are gonna be up or down. Like I don't fucking know. How do I, as you said, like, do I have a crystal ball? But there's gonna be volatility, and the coming week, the following week, there's FOMC. So just guaranteed volatility next 2 weeks. And you know, stocks, as you said, went down so much that they can bounce 10% and still look shit. That, you know, even at a dead cat on a like if S&P rallies 10% again, I think Bitcoin will rip pretty hard with it. So, you know, if like new all-time highs, I think will require a TradFi strength because it's been so one and on. It's I love
Yeah,
posting
no,
these.
I think especially since there's like a no narrative now for BTC. Obviously, if unless Trump decides to, uh, I don't know, do something, which we kind of never know. I think
Almost zero chance.
the correlation with the TradFi is probably going to be more back, uh, since like Bitcoin is still the risk on asset is it's does the best when the stocks are also doing great. So yeah, I think that's probably kind of a if I want to be timing the bottom, or if I want to be looking for like a bigger reversal, I think it should be in line with S&P at least as well.
When CME opens in less than 4 hours, so we shall see. You know,
Yeah, no, we had like a decent bounce on Friday on the S&P as well. I'm not sure
it's
if
like a
that's
perfect
been
test of
a
a level I had randomly there for like a year, which is pretty
yeah.
interesting. Technical analysis is not
So
fake.
so yeah, we will see. We'll definitely see. I think it's going to be probably the best. The kind of the correlation is going to be just kicking back in more, since there's really not much going on for Bitcoin at the moment.
Big issue is
Um,
also seller is running out of money, and it's just fact. It's like, no, they make all the information public. You know, it's not like a
mhm.
um, it's not like some secret. You can do the maths how much money he has left, and he doesn't have that much. He can do a bunch of converts still, convertible bonds, but it, from my understanding, and by previous examples, it just takes a bunch of time. So if he was just to dump his stock to buy BTC, it's fairly easy. But the convertible bonds, they do them like, last one he did was this Tuesday. Let me. The fact that I remember this is so sad about my life. But he did announce one on the Tuesday before Bybit hack. So that was the bottom here. And if you remember, he managed fucking Chad. He announced it on Tuesday. Bybit happened Friday. He managed to still somehow. He basically raised 2 billion and he instantly aped it into BTC, and he got an average entry of 97.5k. Like, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you can see my screen. So he basically, how he deploys, he just instantly YOLOs it into the books. So maybe if there's like a TradFi bounce and Sailor does another convert, that could be an easy 10% rally. And people will be
Yeah.
again on the timeline. Oh, you fucking retards! You were bearish at the lows, haha. And like, if Sailor does a convert, I'm longing for like 3 days or whenever the. So if he does it on Monday, you have like 4 more days because they're not buying on the weekends, right? So I'm just gonna be playing that intraday. I think there's a lot of good longs, but even in a
Yeah.
downtrend, you can take longs.
One thing I think is pretty interesting is that there has been like and I wasn't following this that clearly, but there has been like a lot of lawsuits dropped, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in the recent weeks from all these crypto companies. Uh, what would be kind of interesting if maybe perps would get allowed in the US, which could have been like not like a direct narrative maybe for BTC, but it would definitely bring like a lot of like new attention um, to the market as well.
Yeah,
Because
it's
like right now, like I think the main kind of gambling venue in the US are still options. On Robinhood, you have all these 0 day to expiration stuff, and like people when they want to gamble, like obviously they can do it on chain, which probably got the most attention from the US people. But if there would be perhaps, I think there would be like a lot of new user base coming into
a lot
crypto,
of new
which
exit
is
liquidity.
yeah.
it's like I mean I know what you're saying, but it's gonna be a slaughterhouse, dude. People are gonna
Yeah, yeah,
crank it up.
yeah.
It's
But it
fastest
would be
way to
definitely
financial ruin.
fun. It would be fun to trade, nonetheless. Yeah. Do we have anything? Someone actually asked about how do you know if he's doing more converts. So this is probably for you. I have no fucking idea.
I just well, the like easy answer for that would be if I like understand their strategy right. They just want to exit. They just want to buy as much BTC as possible, as soon as possible. I mean that's what they've been doing. So um, I honestly don't know. I'm just trying to find. That is like the best bull case I can give to people. Maybe Sailor buys is my biggest bull post I can come up with. It's I think one thing we also have to mention, not to be just full European, since Trump got into office, obviously a lot of the people in the cabinet are pro crypto, and that is great, right? We have this recognition, people who actually work in crypto, which kind of applies to us too, but like what you would call actual teams and actual builders now have the regular are going to help building the regulatory clarity, the framework, right? So it takes time, but it's good, it's net positive that these people don't have to worry that they'll go to jail for like being a dev in crypto. So that is great, but that applies to like 1% of the people watching this stream, because I assume most people are just trading
Yeah,
for the most
yeah,
part. Like, yes, they dropped the lawsuit against Kraken, Coinbase, OpenSea, all the others. But, like, let me put it this way. If you had that headline 3 years ago, what do you think happens to Bitcoin if they dropped lawsuit against Coinbase? Like,
yeah.
bro, we
It
would
just
fucking plus
yeah,
20% candle.
yeah.
Like,
I
and
mean,
today it's limp dick pattern. So, like,
yeah. No, that's like, but that's a good point. That definitely shows like the weakness overall when like you have a because like we still get like good news like in 2 years ago saying that US, although obviously they are not buying new coins, but at least they are keeping the coins they stole from people.
yeah, but can you
But
talk
still,
about how they got the coins? It's like, it's stealing.
yeah, well, but it's yeah, it is, but it is like it still would have been seen as a bullish narrative. At least they're not selling, which the Germans did and practically rallied. So um okay, so do we have anything interesting when it comes to altcoins? That's a question. Um,
I mean, Trump coin just made a new all-time low.
I think, from my point of view, I think ETH is looking insanely bad, which we probably are going to agree on, even
No,
if
I
we look
mean
at like
that's not.
a
Is this
yeah.
a breaking news?
I think there's like interesting thing for things, and obviously people like tend to say this at the bottom, but like people still, a lot of people still expect the ETH rotation. Uh,
Okay.
I think there's like a still decent chance like it's just not going to happen, which is probably why it's going to happen. Uh, but yeah, that's not a good looking chart and has not been a good looking chart forever. I to be fair, I literally saw people buying ETH and talking about ETH BTC on timeline this like last few days. But yeah, probably not a trade for me.
But they have been for ever since ETH merge, or sorry, not merge. September 2022. What was it? EIP
Yeah, yeah, the I know
1559,
the
whatever.
yeah the
Ever
upgrade.
since, it's just I don't know. It's tough. Even somebody asked about Ethereum, CME open interest. I think it's actually pretty easy to explain, because let's do it in coins. Like if you look at Bitcoin in coins, it just
Mm,
dumped, right? A lot of it was the CME
yeah,
basis rate unwind, blah blah blah. But with ETH, it never really happened, and because Ethereum ETFs never got any inflows to begin with. So there is nothing
yeah.
to unwind if there's. I think that would be the explanation.
Yeah, probably. And it also went from like almost zero to I don't I'm not sure, to be fair, like what's the contract size on ETH. I know for BTC is like 5 Bitcoin. But I wouldn't. How much is it in like a notional? Is it a lot? I can't see it on the screen. Like 1 million contracts, which I have no idea how much the contract is. But yeah, it's probably going to be a decent size. But yeah, I think ETH is just like it disappointed on all the things that it where it could kind of shine.
It has. I
It's
think it's interesting because it has even me, the biggest probably Ethereum hater, with Coin Mamba out there. It has everything like it needs right now to shine, right? With all the crime shit happening, like in some ways, Ethereum Foundation dumping the 100 ETH per week isn't the worst crime committed in crypto. Like they have all the pro crypto regulation. There's Spectra upgrade. There is Lindy effect of like ETH network. It's everything going for it, and what it does best is roll over and die more.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
tiresome.
that's true. That's true. And I like we had these like like we had this insane week on February 3rd, which is this like a insane liquidation event basically, which happened in the ETH. And yeah, it's just like not getting the you know the buyers. And I think, to be fair, Solana is not looking much better. Uh, if I'm being honest, like Solana is coming into this like 130 region, which is this big support, which basically was this like range low from April until the November last year. I think this is also not looking like insanely strong. This is not the level where I would be too interested in buying it.
Well, Solana is interesting. I even have some of my tweets here. It's funny. Um, I don't want to shit on Sol too much of all the crime, but what I again just allegedly or a lot of interesting things lining up. Interestingly, again, not just my speculation, but you have David Sachs, which is the crypto tsar, which is a hilarious
Yeah,
title to say the least. Basically, has a long history on just basically saying, "Oh, I have fuck ton of exposure to Solana." Yes, he said that he had to or like sold before getting into the office, but just like everything around the Solana unlock to me just screams total crime. Like the biggest crime I've ever seen, even for Trump measures. Like fucking unlock happens March 1st. Day after, on Sunday, they say Solana strategic reserve. Then he tweets, David Sachs, "Oh, we only tweeted that because it's top 5 coins," while Solana was not the top 5 coin, or Cardano, one of them. It's just like, and then said, "Oops, we just said it because we said it." Like, full retrace. And
yeah,
on this day, I can actually do Solana in Velo. We'll see the volumes. It's just the volume that day was so much higher than any other day.
yeah.
And it's just like, you see that all, like, after many years in crypto, it's like, man, it smells like fucking bullshit. And yeah, thanks for playing. You see massive open interest unwind after. It's just, I don't know, man. Everything about this whole last 7 days regarding Solana stinks real bad to me.
Yeah. Makes sense, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a bit doomed, and also with it being the main uh crime when it comes to pump fun stuff and all the insights thing, which was dying down quite a bit now. I think there is a um, decent chance it's going to retrace much deeper than it is right now. At the same time, though, I think that like if theoretically, if we would get the bounce, and obviously like markets are very cyclical, and a few months from now, and if BTC starts to recover, we are going to be back into launching new coins every day and new meme coins that are going to be funny for next 15 minutes. And like there's like a big chance, like people especially in crypto, have like a peanut memory, and like no one will care
Peanut, I
anyway.
can look
Like
at the chart.
you can like scam and drag, and people forget in 2 weeks anyway, right? So like if I think we're gonna go back into altcoins pumping and people are interested in coins again, I think Solana once again would be kind of a good bet because
Yeah.
the on-chain stuff is just Sol. There is like not much of a competition there. I think. I know people talk about base, but that doesn't seem like it caught up fully.
No.
Um, so um, so yeah, that's probably a Solana kind of a narrative, or why I think at least it's going to be kind of relevant in the future. Obviously, it's going to get ETF soon. It's getting a futures listing in a
On
week from
17th,
now, I
yes.
think. Yeah. So a week from now is getting futures listing as well. So yeah, I think Solana is going to be just one of those things which it's just going to kind of stay here, and I don't really expect it to go back to $20. It's kind of my point.
Mm-hmm.
um this is where ETH is heading.
I think
No,
I think
but yeah.
Solana is had the worst is behind. Even though I'm like was shitting on it a lot, I think it's like I think about the fudding and the opposite is like it's in such framework like it had the worst behind it. I think the unlock happened. Hopefully, all the insiders got out that wanted to get out. Uh, they had a lot of opportunity. As you said, a lot of future catalysts that are looking good. Like it looks bright. That's what I'm trying to say. Like a lot of very bad things happen, but the future is bright, and it is getting ETF, and I think it got
Yeah.
I guess you could call it like the Lindy effect this cycle. And people really started taking it seriously. Like actual institutions like PayPal entering. Solana ecosystem. All the like big guys interested in Solana is good for Solana, and is definitely. It will not trade like EOS, is what I'm saying. Like EOS used to be relevant, and yeah.
True. Cool. So yeah, I think besides that, obviously, I don't really have much of an opinion. I have like no idea why, what's going on. Like with other these like Cardano, XRP, I think they were kind of strong before. They are US based, I think, so that's one of the reasons for it. But I cannot say that I care, like at all. So if you don't have maybe anything, some other altcoins to cover, we are probably still going to be boring and just keep on the PTC. It's all.
I mean, I think it. Not to like fucking brag here, but I think we before the stream it done us really well to play defense. And I mean, my
No,
DMs. I'm not sure about you if you read your DMs, but my DMs are really
I
dark, man.
my DMs are closed. That's yeah. um, so yeah, I think we're gonna slowly.
Maybe questions if there is some.
Yeah,
This
if
is
you
just
guys
people
have some of the
dunking on
questions.
charts.
Yeah, let's see the tickers of coins which have like 3 million volume. Popcat and Whiff.
Zero.
That's also. Yeah, like I think Whiff is, yeah, like both of these are just done. I think it's just like, and I don't want to kind of
Jesus
like
Christ.
downplay it, because like Whiff, it had its cycle. That like it rallied from nothing to fucking 5 bill. But yeah, I think I just have like a hard time to see if like I think there is like a question of like it like let's assume, like, obviously I don't think like there is like a scenario where like Popcat or Wave is going to just run all of a sudden, and is going to be like fuck the whole market, and we're just going to go on our own, right? Like let's be real, like before like Solana is going to bottom and anything, like I don't think that there's like a much of bigger chance of this being just like secluded kind of rally, right? But um when things going to start turning, I think the question is if it's going to be these altcoins, which I think like at this point, like you can obviously consider these quote unquote kind of a blue chip memes.
Calm
That's
down,
an
Murad.
insane thing to say. Yeah, that's like a crazy thing to say out loud, especially. But yeah, like that's the question. Like if the things are going to be like if they basically gonna catch the the main kind of narrative is going to be just these altcoins, because like, for example, I think if you look at like Pepe, which is a little bit older, and if you look at like, yeah, oh, even Pepe is not that old, but you know, like it had multiple likes basically, right? And like Doge, you know, also had like some likes, although it, you know, died down completely from 2021. But then Jesus, Doge chart is looking so sad.
Man, look at SHIB, or I have it on my screen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
oh my
it's
god.
not. Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
this is
not
a
great.
blue chip meme,
So
mind you, of last cycle.
so yeah, that's probably kind of a lot of explanatory for the new coins. Because like, yeah, these just like ship kind of out underperformed extremely. So I think like a lot of these coins you can just kind of, you know, blame Murat and move on basically. Because at the end of the day, I think if things gonna catch up again, I think it's going to be new interesting things.
Yeah.
So I'm asking about hype. I think this is doing quite bad at the moment. Um,
Holy fuck.
yeah, it's back at the.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the full history though. Yeah, here. No, it went from like
No.
$4.
Yeah. I think it opened at like $3 or $4, went to 30. Then it's back to 50 now. I don't know. I just like don't have that much of an opinion on it. I think I from like a overall point of view, I kind of like it. You know, like the whole thing is pretty cool. You know, there's like not this kind of VC dumpage and everything, but at the same time, you know, it got a lot of attention on CT, which
No,
is
why they're
usually
selling now, right? Like somebody has to be selling, so it's the big hole. Like, or is the math not mathing here? Like people
yeah,
writing bull posts
but
about this while selling. I mean,
yeah. I think like it's probably the best place to, you know, trade if you want to trade on the decentralized exchange at the moment. You know, trade perps. I think it's got a little bit overhyped with some of the things. But yeah, I don't know. I traded that a little bit. I liked it. It was good.
can you share your
From the token.
airdrop story again?
Yeah, let's not talk about the fact that I didn't claim it on the wallet, which I have on a PC, which is in a different country. It wouldn't be. I think it would be that much. To be fair, I didn't
Just a
trade
million or
there all
two,
that
it's
much.
fine.
Yeah, of course. But no, yeah, I don't know. Like I usually like my point of view on these things is that every time I see the whole city talking about something, I'm just like immediately not interested.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my kind of bottom line on hype, is that like once people stop talking about it completely, and you know, you see the growing volume on the exchange, and I think that what they are doing overall is pretty cool. So maybe to Popcat again.
I mean, a lot of people really
um,
got wrecked on Popcat, from my understanding. Like,
yeah,
but I mean,
I they truly did. Yeah, someone asking Abetrade, the Anna is kind of strong right now. It's pretty good,
I still
but
like in my head, in my then in my peanut brain, I blame Etina for Ethereum weakness.
I blame Ethina for like a completely fucking up the open interest on ETH, which basically became like useless, and it took me some time to realize that I basically have no edge there. So yeah, I blame it for that.
No, but I think Etina and Aave are not think they're doing well because due to the friendly regulation, they're allowing fee switch. Basically, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when you're becoming a bit of what you could call like a equity holder, if you will. Because let's be honest, why does Etina need a token otherwise, or Aave? Like truly, it's a governance. You know, you can vote on chain proposals. Like, dude, look yourself in a mirror. You're 32 years old. You're single, and you're fucking voting on governance proposals on some fucking mumbo jumbo bullshit. Like, I mean that the charts look like, you know, for that reason. But if they can activate the fee switch, I think that is a decent catalyst. But am I buying a DeFi coin when Bitcoin looks like this? I'm not sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, since you, let's say you mentioned the 60K range, let's say if you're there and you get into these coins that you think could, you know, I need to be convinced that Bitcoin is bottomed. I'm not buying, catching a knife on a DeFi coin.
I think in general, like trading altcoins, like it's just best when there is a market for it, when things are going up. Although, you know, this time around, a lot of them underperform BTC, which is obviously not ideal, but at the same time, you know, you usually tend to catch this kind of higher beta percentage gains. But yeah, like shorting, yeah, like I think overall, like people always talk about shorting as some sort of like a dark magic type of
Yeah.
thing, but like shorting like a lot of altcoins at once with like convictions is pretty hard because you know like you are betting on like overall market and you can still get squeezed because these things are like super illiquid, so that's definitely a little bit tough. So I think like overall, at least what I do is that I just like when I think market is like in a general kind of risk on sentiment, I just like look to get into some of the altcoins that are doing well at the moment. Since none of them are, I think it's just like no point. um, yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. We've been live for an hour. I need to piss so bad, so
My God, thanks
it's
for
truly
the,
the,
thanks, man.
it's truly the time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, here's the link. We are sponsored by BonkBot. If you like the streams, you can use the link.
If you
If
like
you don't
Adam,
like the streams, yes, if you don't like the streams, you still should use the link. uh that's what important anyway. That have money, we are doing it only for the money. There's no other reason for us to be streaming on Sunday evening anyway. So yeah, we will catch you next week. Thank you.
have a good day. Bye bye. How do I turn off the stream?